Well, the beginning of the new year means many people out there are hoping to make a fresh start when it comes to their finances.
Yeah, many spent 2009 really mired in stress over the mounting debt. Richard Chan says filing for bankruptcy in 2010 can bring relief. Welcome, Richard.
Thank you for having me.
Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year to you.
Yeah.
Now, we've shared in the past that a lot of people are hesitant to file for bankruptcy because they've always heard that it's a bad thing. Do you still hear that?
You know, I got to tell you, it's a common myth that bankruptcy is a bad thing, and really it's a great thing. It is a powerful tool given to you by the federal courts that allows you to beat back the creditors. A lot of people are, and especially in this economy, are carrying lots of credit card debt or upside down in their houses, have second mortgages they can't pay for, and it's a very powerful tool that you can use to beat back creditors. And
you've told us before that it's a constitutional right.
It is a constitutional right, and the funny thing is these creditors will, you know, the people that are in a tough financial situation, they know. The creditors will call you day and night. They'll call your wife. They'll call you at work. They'll intimidate you. They'll harass you. They'll do anything to get your last dollar. And the bankruptcy rules are there to allow you to shed your debt and live a normal life.
You don't want that kind of harassment. Now, what kind of debt can a person get rid of, and how long does it take?
Okay. You can get rid of credit card debt, all of it. You can get rid of some IRS debt. You can get rid of all unsecured debt, personal loans, balances from repossessions on cars, and it takes 90 days.
Wow. Now, Richard, we hear a little bit about credit counseling, debt settlement. In your experience, would you recommend trying that?
God, no. It's in my opinion, it's a scam. You see tons of those people on TV advertising, and the problem is it's a flawed concept. They charge you 10 to 15% of your outstanding debt, so it's very expensive. It takes a year. The creditors will call you for an entire year until the process is over with, and then when it's done, you still have to pay back much of your debt. Whereas in bankruptcy, the process takes 90 days. A bankruptcy lawyer can stop the calls. They can stop the calls. Federal law allows you to stop the creditor calls, and at the end of the process, you pay back nothing. You're debt-free.
Now, for people out there who may be considering bankruptcy, do they need to be worried about their retirement?
You know, your retirement in bankruptcy is 100% protected. And the saddest thing is I have people come in and see me and they say, oh, we got 40 grand in credit card debt and I liquidated my 401k to pay back the credit card companies. And the credit card companies don't tell you, hey, hold on a second, don't liquidate your IRA, we can't get it anyways. They tell you, they motivate you to do it, and they say, we'll settle for 50 cents on the dollar. So people liquidate their IRAs, and the sad thing is that IRA's protected, 100%.
Have you found that people come to you as a last resort and then they've already done the damage?
All the time, and it literally brings a tear to my eye because people have $100,000 in retirement and they'll liquidate it and they only get 70 of it because of penalties. Then they got to pay taxes on the 70 that they got.
And it didn't work anyway.
And they paid off the debt. Where bankruptcy is there for people to shed their debt, wipe it out 100%, and keep your retirement. And you don't have to borrow money from your parents.
Richard, let's talk about possessions that people have. They might be hesitant maybe to pursue bankruptcy because they're afraid they'll lose everything.
Right. That's a very common myth, I think, perpetuated by the harassing creditor calls. The vast majority of my clients keep 100% of their possessions, all of them.
Really? Okay, so what about when it comes to your house and your mortgage? How is that affected?
Yeah. Well, it depends. In a certain type of bankruptcy, what's called a Chapter 13, a lot of people will have a second mortgage, say for $100,000, and their house has dropped in value. So, maybe their first mortgage is $200,000 and their second mortgage is $100,000, but their house is only worth $200,000.
Right.
Well, they'd keep their house if they didn't have to pay this $100,000 in upside down equity. Well, Chapter 13 allows me to wipe out that second mortgage, 100%, turn it into an unsecured credit, unsecured debt, and in the end of a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, you owe none of it.
Good to know.
Wow. Richard, during the holidays, a lot of people overspend or overextend themselves, maybe max out some credit cards. Are you seeing that? More people come to you saying, hey, I really overdid it.
Well, I got to tell you, I practice bankruptcy for 12 months a year, so whether it's June or it's December or it's January, everybody's got credit card debt. And the saddest thing of all is these credit card companies, these banks, they make, Bank of America made $6 billion in the first 6 months of last year in profit. And those banks charge people 20 to 28%. They are running their businesses on the backs of working men and women, like yourselves. And everybody's got credit card debt, whether it's from the holidays or whether it's from June or July. And the only way to live a normal life is stop paying the 28%. The reality is most people, they can't pay back the credit card debt. They've been carrying it for 2, 3, 4 years. you can't pay it back when the interest rates are 20, 26, 28%. It's impossible.
Well, let's say people want to make a fresh start. It's the new year. What's the first step?
You can call my office. You can have a consultation. It's confidential and it's at no charge. Meet with an attorney. And you call us at 888-446-4333.
And remind us where your offices are located, Richard, because they're fairly convenient throughout the area.
Sure, sure. We practice all over the greater Sacramento Valley, you know, extending all the way out to Yuba City and Stockton, and Fairfield and Sacramento.
And what should people bring, Richard? What should they have together if they call?
You know, when they come see us, all they need to do is bring an idea of what their income is and bring a list of what their debt is, so we can figure out what we're going to get rid of.
Most people are pretty familiar, I think, with what the debt is on that list. Thank you, Richard.
Richard, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.